DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Sorry guys, Magica said she's not interested.
Not interested in what?
Nothing. You're obviously very busy here. Just all of Scrooge's enemies, led by his greatest rival, me, are taming up to...
Take out his family and get our grim vengeance on Clan McDuck. And then we shall return here and declare war against the day manager and all children with birthdays!
Dispel! What did we say about declaring magical war on children?
Not to.
It's the week of Thursday, August the 13th, and you're listening to episode 108 of DuckTalks. Talk about life being like a hurricane. I think we've brought that up the last 3 or 4 episodes, but today, Thursday, August the 13th, has been one of the busiest news days for us in a long, long time. And unfortunately, Pirate Steven was all on his own trying to cover it because the rest of us were busy. And yeah, it's been a crazy day. This is DuckTalks. This is a DuckTales and Disney Afternooniverse fan podcast. I don't know why I like to pause on that, but I do. I just want to make sure you understand we're a fan podcast. If this is the first time you've listened to this show, we're very thankful that you've stopped by, and we hope you enjoy the show. Give us a like, a rating, whatever it is on your podcatcher. If you're listening on Spotify, we realize you can't do that. Shoot us an email. Let us know that you enjoyed it. We just like hearing back from you and getting the feedback. We've actually had a lot of reviews recently over on Apple Podcasts, but I'm sorry, not reviews. We've had ratings. We have a number of new ratings, but not reviews. We like to read the reviews. But we've got a big show tonight as we try to cover all the news that broke in just the last few hours, a few days. We thought on Monday we were going to record and we were going to be talking about rumors of episode titles and possible release dates. Thankfully, that didn't happen due to other reasons, and then we were going to record last night and something came up. And I said, you know what? It doesn't matter because the news will be out tomorrow, and that way we can talk about it then, and that ended up being true. So here we are. My name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me tonight, I have my good pal, Pirate Steven.
Ahoy there.
Dude, you've been busy today.
Man, I feel rejuvenated because the news has just been so solidly good, man.
You know, I remember those early days of trying to keep up with the blog and keep up with information about comics and new episodes, trying to reference the old show and the old comics and toys. You know, we had Fat Mojo going on. We had all that stuff. Just, I don't know how we kept up with it over on the blog because it feels like anytime news breaks, it's just a flood, and that really is how it is in this fandom. It's feast and famine for sure, and today has been feast.
Yeah, we were not starved at all today on news.
But it's hard to eat all of that when you've been starved for many, many weeks. So what we're talking about, if you didn't know, today was the release of, was it 6 episode titles and release dates? I think that's correct.
Yeah, we found out then season 3. And, you know, we got a great tip on 2 of the first episode dates and titles for season 3 returning.
In September.
Yeah, and we were actually able to break that, which was kind of exciting. And everybody in the fandom was excited about it. And that would be the September 21st and 28 episodes. We're going to talk more about all the episodes later, but I mean, that was great news. And then today we found out the first 6 episodes, and we found out they're going to be weekly again on Disney XD and on Monday nights. So that is good news. We're not getting a DuckTales bomb of every episode.
Oh man, are we thankful for that?
Yeah, weekly sounds great to me. I mean, that's how Disney Plus rolls, and really hope the DuckTales continues on to Disney Plus, and we get these season 3 episodes on Disney Plus soon. Because you know what, Disney Now is just annoying.
Yeah, the other day I was watching Glomtales. And I was thinking about those cluster of episodes that just like in season 2 that they would just hit 5 episodes at a time. And it was just way too much to take in all at one time. And sometimes I forget about some of those episodes and some of those storylines. This episode, because of the first episode that will return in September being The Phantom and the Sorceress, this episode will most likely have the screenshot, the episode artwork, not artwork, but the episode screenshot will probably be from Glomtales with Magica and Funzo, who I say in quote air quotation marks, will probably be the scene that you see, and it probably have something to do with that in our title as well. But we're excited to talk about these episodes. There's a few things that we wanted to actually, that's the main news. It's mainly that and the Phantom Blot stuff from Fantagraphics that we want to talk about. And then, of course, Frank's still there on Tumblr answering questions. So we have a number of those we wanted to try and get to tonight. So let's jump into it. And
well, the other cool thing that happened. Sorry, I don't know if we want to interrupt you on that, but the other cool thing that happened this week was our good friend James Silvani released every week he has different releases for his headshots, and this week was the DuckTales 2017 and Gravity Falls and all the Disney TV modern animation shows, and that was really exciting because they had people that were camping out trying to get those headshots, and it was pandemonium. And I was not buying anything, but I definitely had my popcorn ready. I'm just watching things fly off the shelves.
It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. I felt like I fought every minute leading up to that release. Our listeners, people who've been listening for the past few episodes, know that I have a collection of Darkwing Duck headshots from James, and that I bought 2 of them. One is of the original Darkwing, and then one is of the DuckTales 2017 Darkwing at the time, which turns out to be Jim Starling, the actor, Darkwing Duck, which means I essentially have Negaduck from the DuckTales 2017. So what I now need is Drake Mallard for DuckTales 2017. And, Dragon Con was coming. I was hoping he'd be back in Atlanta. Didn't happen. There were other things that were happening that didn't look like it was going to work out. And so I was thinking, man, I'm going to have to, what am I going to have to do? Then he started selling headshots online. I got super excited. So anyway, that's been throughout the last few episodes, me talking about, yep, these look great. No Darkwing yet. Darkwing in this release. And so I'm super excited, but I know that I've had this happen with so many items that if I didn't get it in quick enough, I was going to miss out. So I took my break strategically at work so that I had enough time to get ready. I saved the headshot page to the home screen on my phone, and I had my payment options available spread out in front of me as I prepared for the store. Because if something didn't work, I was going to be prepared to put something else in. Whatever I had to do, I had to get it done quick. And so yeah, I was prepared. I've actually, at the last minute, decided to record myself as I was doing it. So I thought it might be fun to play this on the episode, this episode of the podcast, and let you all hear what was going on as I prepared to purchase this item. All right, guys, it's about 2 minutes until James Silvani's online store has the new headshots available. And if you've been listening to the podcast, I want the DuckTales 2017 Drake Mallard to go with my collection. All right, sorry, pause. Apparently I didn't need to go into all that because I'm going to do that on the recording. Of James Silvani Darkwing Duck headshots. That's what I'm going for. Just going for the one to try and ensure that I get it. I don't know if it just being in my cart will hold it for the payment process, or if I've got to get the payment in before someone else gets their payment in. But I'm sitting here on the screen. It's about to be 2:59, and I'm ready to refresh as soon as I was documenting this.
3 o'clock.
I hope you all are enjoying James's store and buying the headshots. There's a lot of really cool ones. I've had the pleasure of buying 2 from him previously, and they're both Darkwing. One is from the classic Darkwing, and then one is
You're gonna miss it from talking.
Darkwing Jim Starling from DuckTales 2017.
Oh, I'm watching the clock.
We are almost at the 3-minute mark, so very, very close to this store going on, these new items going live. And Thumb is at the refresh button. Heart's starting to race.
It's getting real now.
Of course, once the page loads, there we go, it's 3 o'clock. Once the page loads, I also have to find the headshot.
Uh-oh, panic.
All right, it's 3 o'clock. There they are. Okay, so Wonder Over Yonder, Cap.
Uh-oh.
Lots of goodies. Only here for one specific one, though. Not on the first page. Lots of Marvel.
Not on the second page either.
Oh, I'm not seeing it on here. I see the pines. Oh, maybe they're loading in.
Yeah, they did load in.
All right, I've chosen it. It's loading. I've put it in the cart. I'm hitting checkout. Choosing my payment option. Hitting checkout. Oh man, shipping information. Come on, phone. You can put all this in for me.
Right?
Here we go. There's my address. Give you a phone number. Everything checks out. All right, onto the payment information. Securely logging into payment information.
Man, that's slow. I thought you'd be faster there.
I got a new debit card recently, and I haven't got my Apple Pay set up, so that's not going to be an option for me. Would have probably been quicker.
So I had to use PayPal,
right.
which redirects you and then brings you back.
Yeah. I don't like
this is happening.
This is where I start getting worried. You hear me typing.
And looking for confirmation.
Of course, you're ignoring all my text that I'm sending you during
Order has been confirmed. Order has been confirmed. Darkwing Duck, Drake Mallard, headshot, ordered. Boom. I did it. Thanks for joining me, guys. Enjoy some more DuckTalks.
You know, in retrospective, I do eat it. Might have been better. Might have been more appropriate. And Woo, you know, might have been a better celebration than Boom. But, you know, Boom did produce Darkwing Duck comics at one point.
Nice.
But, yeah, it was kind of a lengthy process. And I was worried that if I attempted to get... Because I kind of wanted that launch pad, too. But I was worried if I went for more than one, I'd lose it. And I'm extremely happy that I did not, because I did see people later online complaining that they did get the Drake Mallard headshot in their cart, but then they went and bought and selected other things as well, and then it was no longer available by the time they got to the point of ordering, or paying. So yeah, I got it. It's on its way. I checked the shipping earlier today, and it's somewhere between here and there. I should have it Monday, and it will be added to my collection.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, that was the most stressful online purchase I've ever made.
Yeah, I saw them when they were loading, and by the time they finished loading for me and my refreshing and browsing, I looked down and it was gone. So I was texting you, sorry, man, you missed out.
And I was like, no, that was me. Now, one thing that I want to add, and one of the main reasons why we wanted to talk about it on the podcast, is because I don't think we realized this going in. James answered somebody, he answered a question about the headshots and said that he was retiring the headshots, and that was why he was putting them on the store online. I figured he had already made them for the various Comic-Cons and conventions that he was going to be attending, and that he was just trying to get rid of them since he obviously didn't want to sit on them all year. But by him saying that he's retiring the headshots, that sounds like he doesn't plan on doing them for future conventions. Is that what you got from that?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that. He's got other stuff he's working on. Who knows how conventions are going to be in the future.
True. And he has said he's got a project that he's currently working on.
He's working on projects, and he does the commissions as well. So The good news is, and this is how Pirate Steven does it, for his at-home convention, so he did one for San Diego Comic-Con. He's going to do one for New York Comic-Con, and as well for holiday commissions. So if you catch him in his store and email him around that time, he announces his commissions schedules, and get on his list, you can order the headshots, and you don't have to go through what you just heard Mitch go through, and order them in sets of 5. So you have to buy 5, and they're $20 each, and then $10 shipping. But you can order the 5 you want. You don't have to worry about there only being one in a store, and you'll have exactly what you want. So that, whenever a commission opportunity opens for James, I jump on it, and I mean, that's the way to go.
And I like that idea because you can request exactly what you want. We were talking before we started recording. I've got a very specific Darkwing headshot that I would like to commission him to do. But honestly, I don't know that if I was going to spend $100, I don't know that I would spend it on headshots or if I would just commission a single character piece, because aren't those close to $100 as well?
$80 for like the non-color ones, one character.
Yeah. Which the headshots, they are Copic, but I don't know that they're full color. I'm not really sure how he classifies them.
Yeah, they're great though. And,
I love them. And it's because I collect them. Like the first time I met him, I snagged the Darkwing and immediately. It was the first one. I caught him on Thursday, so it was the first day of the convention, and I got the Darkwing. And the second time that I met him, I was actually also wanting to pick up Donald. I was planning on getting the 2017 Darkwing of the time, which is Jim. We didn't know that at the time, but I was going to get that and Donald. And I think it was one of our listeners, I believe it was Ella, who picked up the Donald, so I only got the Darkwing. So yeah, that's something that I've started collecting. So for me, the headshots, I want to get more of them. Like I want to get a launch pad. We were talking about it. I would like to have the 2017 launch pad so that this was totally Pirate's idea, so that I could put Jim Starling on one side, Drake Mallard on the other side, and launch pad in the middle on a frame with 3 pictures. And he just blew my mind with that. I was like, that would look so much better than the 3 Darkwings.
Yeah, I'm so good at getting people to spend money. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's the message that you sent me that my wife rolled her eyes at and called you an enabler.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But then I got to thinking about it. But I have original Darkwing. I kind of need original Launchpad and Gosling.
And original Negaduck.
And Negaduck. Yeah, so...
DT-17 Negaduck, so...
It's a slippery slope.
And then you gotta get the Sinister Six and not Sinister Six, Fearsome 5.
Sinister 6.
I mean that, yeah, it's a slippery slope, but it's totally worth it. I'm jealous of whoever got the Glom Gold, and you know what? I was thinking about getting the DuckTales 2017 Glom Gold, but I decided to just let someone else have it and enjoy it. I can't wait to show y'all what I bought for my San Diego Comic-Con.
Are you going to tell them what it is?
I'm not telling them what they're going to. I'll say I did get a headshot and I did get a commission piece. Both are DuckTales 2017 related, and the headshot. The hint is it's the most underrated character in all of DuckTales 2017. So it's not anything y'all have seen before as far as James's headshots goes.
No.
And it is, I can't wait to get it. He's going to ship it sometime at the end of August. So probably first week of September.
Yeah, I was super jealous when you told me what you got. And I was like, oh, man, that's good.
So good. So good.
Yeah, if I end up doing a 5-pack of headshots, and you know me, I probably won't. But if I do a 5-pack of headshots, I may have to say, can you do one like you did for Pirate?
I don't know, man. It's kind of exclusive.
I know. It'll be different, because that's the thing. These are all one of a kind. He doesn't do the exact same thing on all of them, so they're all one of a kind.
So
what's the next release on those? Do you remember?
It's this week, and it's Disney Features Part 3, and then I think another round of DC comic characters.
Okay. Ooh, those could be worth money someday, from what I hear.
Yeah,
DC's hit some hard times.
Yeah, and we're gonna have James Silvani and Aaron Sparrow on one of our upcoming shows. They've been invited guests several times. We just want to find the perfect time to do it. And there is that Darkwing Duck. Well, we're going to be talking about it later, but there's a Darkwing Duck, spoiler alert, episode coming out for DuckTales. So maybe after that, or maybe before, who knows? But they will be on our show, and we'll definitely have some good laughs and stories about the comics and convention stories, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got a few things that, as we look at these, and this, a lot of this information was new for us as well. We had some idea about some of these, but not totally, because there's a few changes here from any kind of rumors or anything that we had kind of picked up on, or anything we kind of guessed at as well. But we've got a few things that I think we would like to do with these episodes, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And we're trying to work out how our schedule will be and everything for it, because, I mean, these episodes are going to premiere on a Monday. I don't have access to the episodes on Monday, so we got to figure that out. We got to figure out whether I can get access to them or what we do. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But we're going to jump. Actually, no, we're going to jump into that. Let's just jump into those episode titles. We had previously reported on the fact that on September 21st and September 28th, we would be getting new episodes. That came to us, I believe it was Paul who sent us that initial email pointing out that there was someone on a forum. Now, this person, they've been a source for us before, the cable forum, and this actual poster. The person posting on the forum was a source before, and we always kind of caution that these are rumors because they've not been officially announced, but this looks good. It looks legit. And it did. It looked legit. The first episode was The Phantom and the Sorceress. And then on September 28th, they put a Moonlander on the Earth. And those were the first two titles that we had. We've had this almost a week that we've known about these. Or was it last weekend? Yeah, it was about a week. But those are the first two. The Phantom, I think everyone online's assuming that's going to be the Phantom Blot. I think that's probably very appropriate. And then the Sorceress, the first person we should think of is Magica, but that should not Lena, that should not leave out Lena or Team Magic. I think that's a possibility as well. What do you think about this title?
Yeah, I mean, the other place my head went, of course, it's always on Darkwing Duck, and I thought Morgana would be really cool. But you know what? They're not going to put Morgana there. They're going to want to save her, I feel.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Magica or Lena or something. Magica versus Lena would be great, actually. But I can't wait to see if it is Magica and Phantom Blot. I'm sure that's going to be a funny combination of characters just hanging out.
We've got
Phantom Blot just go on Phantom Blot here. He is a original Mickey Mouse villain that started off in the comic strips in the I believe it's 1939. But I personally don't know a lot about this character. All I know is he was a pretty bad dude, and he always had disguises. And was he the villain in Epic Mickey?
I never finished Epic Mickey.
Okay. It was never on a console that I had, so
yeah.
I'm hoping a remastered pops out for Epic Mickey at one point, so I can eventually play it. But
now the Phantom Blot is a Mickey villain, though, right? So, like, has he faced off against Donald? Maybe in a Mickey story.
So this is really cool. Fantagraphics, our friends at Fantagraphics, has Mickey Mouse Volume 5 has the original comic strip that introduced Phantom Blot, and it's called Mickey Mouse Outwits the Phantom Blot. That's where he started. And then a couple of years later, and as we know with comics, overseas they do a lot more than they do here, especially for Disney. And there was a couple of comics that reintroduced the Phantom Blot, and after that, and that was still Mickey, and Super Goof is what was also introduced in those comics to go against the Phantom Blot. I don't know if our people out there are familiar with Super Goof, but Goofy has another personality and disguise in him, where he's a superhero. But then after that series, there was another. And Fantagraphics has another book that's coming out early next year called The New Adventures of Phantom Blot. It's an awesome Disney Masters series that they have. And this one is going to collect pretty much another run. I think it was a 7-issue series of Phantom Blot stuff. And it's funny, in that one, the Phantom Blot teams up with... He creates his own like little super team of Mad Madam Mim, who is the villain from Sword in the Stone. You remember her?
Yes. She's in DSA, Disney Sorcerer's Arena.
Yeah, so he teams up with her and the Beagle Boys. And so if those people are in it, it's Mickey and Scrooge McDuck and Donald and Goofy versus the Phantom Blot. So there's where he starts, where Donald Duck and Scrooge and the Phantom Blot come from, as far as how they would have seen each other before.
Okay.
This DuckTales.
Well, and the character is recognizable, although, like you said, I've not had a lot of exposure to him, but I immediately know who he is and his name just by his look. I mean, at the end of season 2, when he's in the scene with Fowl at the table, when he's with who I'm guessing is High Command, yeah, I immediately knew who it was, and it was a huge surprise that Funzo was the Phantom Blot. And one of the conversations I've seen online a lot is, and here's, I don't know if you've seen this or if you've thought about it, how long has the Phantom Blot been Funzo? Because in Day Trip of Doom, the Beagle Boys beat Funzo up and take his costume, so they would have seen who was underneath the costume.
Yeah, and it's a different voice actor.
True, because was that Marston?
Marston did, who plays Max in a Goofy movie, was the voice of Funzo in that episode. And now it's Frank Welker. Great Frank Welker will be the Phantom Blot in the upcoming episode.
Yeah, so I think that Funzo was a different Funzo. Like it was just an employee dressed in a costume. And at some point it changes. And so I'm also wondering if Glomtail's Funzo was the Phantom Blot or if it was another one of the employees.
And well, they used to have their hideout be the lighthouse. So who knows when they started having it at Funzo's?
Yeah, they may not have been at Funzo's in season 1 or 2. All right, so that's that episode. I'm saying it's very likely we get Magica and Lena and all of Team Magic in this one, because over on Tumblr, Frank has said that there is a Team Magic episode coming up soon, And then he also said this week that Violet's in one of the first episodes, or he may have even said the next episode. So if Violet and Sorcery is in the next episode, I'm saying Team Magic and Magica. Because if Funzo was the Phantom Blot in season 2, then Magica's got beef with Funzo. We may see her take out Funzo's.
That'd be great.
And maybe Team Magic's having a party there. Who knows? That'd be fun. All right, the second episode, they put a moonlander on the moon. On the Earth. They put a moonlander on the Earth, and that will air on September 28th. This is the episode we've been looking forward to that will bring back Penumbra or Penny, depending on which way you want to call her. I don't know. But yeah, we had read, this came to us from, was this from iTunes? Where we got a description on this?
DuckTales season 3, volume 5 or something, whatever they call their season pass.
Yeah, and this is the episode that will include Penumbra and Webby, and will also feature the Glom Ferris. What is it? Glom Ferris
wheel.
Glom Ferris wheel, yeah. So that's going to be this storyline. We don't know exactly how it all will work out, of course, but I mean,
we also found out that
we get Glomgold.
Sam King was a co-writer and co-director on this one.
Yeah, I saw that. She said she got to work on a few of these, actually, in those capacities. This was just before, I guess maybe even leading up to her taking on a new show that she's moved over to now. But this, I mean, any Glomgold episode we're looking forward to.
Oh, we can't wait. It's gonna be hilarious because, I mean, the last time we saw him, we saw him in Astro Boy
on a billboard.
On those billboards. But this is the first time we're seeing the hero of Duckburg and the Earth appear in an episode. So who knows how his life has changed since he saved the world?
Yeah, which he took full credit for.
He kind of deserves it. Did you see that episode?
Yeah. I still love that Jaws reference in Moonvasion.
Yeah. The people working on the show must definitely love Jaws because we had that great Jaws episode.
I think there's a lot of Spielberg fans because there's been some Jurassic Park references too. All right, then on October 5th, we get The Trickening, which we have previously been referring to as the Halloween episode. Now we have a title. And this episode we know was one of the very first episodes created for Season 3. And it's a standalone story. So, it's something they created to be able to play at the beginning of October, and Disney XD and Disney, maybe even Disney Channel, can play it over and over and over and over again for everybody to enjoy over and over and over. But it looks like a lot of fun. It's got we've seen, I think these were official. We've had official commercials. They're not called commercials. What do we call them?
Trailer?
Yeah, they're kind of trailers. Clips. Promos. Promo. That's what I like. Promo. We've seen a promo for this episode before. And it has like Launchpad with a chainsaw. It has a graveyard. There's a Jason hockey mask. And then you get Donald and Della in that classic Donald, Angel and Devil costume.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween episodes are great. My kids watch the new Mickey Mouse cartoon shorts Halloween episode almost weekly. So this will be good to add to the rotation.
Yeah. And it's nice to get a standalone. I mean, as much fun as it is to have a huge overarching story, I still enjoy those standalones with just a self-contained story about one thing. Looking forward to seeing what they do with this. Of course, we anticipate we will have another one. How dare I yawn? We anticipate that we will have another one around Christmas because we know we have a Santa episode coming up. Let's go on into October. October 12th, we get the Forbidden Fountain of the Four Everglades. That's kind of hard to say. That's my new McMystery at McDuck McManor, which I can finally say. The Forbidden Fountain of the Foreverglades. Now, Frank had previously tweeted something about going to Florida in this episode, in this season. So I'm guessing this is that episode. He also said something about all the people in Florida are retired or teenagers, something like that. So I don't know how that's going to play in. But yeah, and you wrote a blog today in all the craziness about these episodes, and in your blog you mentioned that there is a fountain of youth in Isabella Finch's journal, and that's one of the lost treasures that the Duck clan or family should be looking for, and maybe that's the connection.
Yeah, I definitely think that is it. And it also, Goldie has mentioned the Fountain of Youth before, so this seems like the perfect opportunity to get her into this season.
Yeah, and I like coming back to, we've had a little bit of a break from Huey's storyline. I would anticipate this is going to come back to it, because like Scrooge said in one of those episodes, this is Huey's adventure. So I would anticipate he will be in this one. Probably all the family in this one going after this fountain of youth in the great state of Florida. Do you think Florida gets renamed in DuckTales? Calisota, which is, kind of California, Minnesota put together. Do you think we get like a Florida Bama?
Frank specifically said Florida, so who knows?
Florida Bama?
Maybe it doesn't get... No, don't do that. Maybe it doesn't get named at all.
Jorita?
Said maybe it doesn't get named at all. Maybe it's just Florida.
Yeah, the Foreverglades. I'd say that's going to be the name used. They might not talk about a state. They might. We'll see. All right, nothing on 1019 to talk about. Oh man, everybody knows about 1019 now, right? Like 1019 is going to be a code from now on.
So 1019, we're getting Let's Get Dangerous, and we know it is a hour-long episode, which really is just 22-minute episodes. So let's get real. It's going to be a 44-minute episode. And wow, it is going to be an event. I tell you. Doesn't it feel like this is going to be the pilot of a new series or something?
But I feel like we already got a soft pilot of a new series.
It was a prequel.
It was a prequel. Okay.
Origin story.
I like that.
It's like issue 0. You know how some of the comics start like...
So The Duck Knight Returns was the Batman Begins of the Nolan trilogy of DuckTales.
Right. And if Disney Plus was ordering these episodes, it would definitely be like episode 7 of... So Let's Get Dangerous will be The Dark Knight. Right. And the cool part was that the... promo image that had all these dates on it had an image of Saint Canard in the background, which was amazing. And it has we love how things mesh and go together. And it even has a wattle building. Yep. So we know Mark Beeks has been to Saint Canard, or maybe he can go back and forth. But that image just gave people goosebumps.
It did me. I was in the midst of running several errands, and when I pulled it up and I was looking at everything, and I was like, wow, this image is kind of dark. What's behind? Oh, wait. And it hit me what it was. Kind of caught me off guard and got me excited. It tells me that they realize what they have with the character. And I've brought this up on the podcast over and over again. I don't want Darkwing Duck to overshadow DuckTales, but I get way more excited about Darkwing Duck than I do DuckTales. I love DuckTales. But it just gets me really, really excited to know that there's a 2 episode special, or 1 hour, coming up that is so big in their eyes that it's the background image for the next 6 episodes. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be Gosalyn's debut in this series. People have been talking about that since they saw her at the San Diego Comic-Con panel with the poster. And Taurus Bulba is in it. as the villain, and we know that from the original Darkwing Duck episodes, Taurus was the villain in the pilot for that series as well. Mm-hmm. He was voiced by Tim Curry. He won't be voiced by Tim Curry in this one, though.
And we may have a hint as to who is voicing him. Earlier, when the season first premiered, we had a listing of several new voice actors for the series who would have new roles in the series. And one of those was, and you all know how I am with names. If I butcher this, someone let me know. James Eagleheart. And James is the voice of Genie in Broadway's Aladdin. We've
Not
been
just the
kind
voice.
Oh yeah, I said voice. Genie, I automatically went animation. He's the performer, on-stage performer for Genie. He responded to James Silvani's tweet about these episodes, saying, if you look at the background and don't pee yourself a little, we're not friends. And Eagleheart responded with awe, but with a lot more exclamation. So he's excited about it. He responded with some excitement. That's leading me to believe, I agree with you, I believe he's going to be our main villain in these episodes.
That's exciting. The Aladdin Broadway show is great. He was great. Maybe hoping he gets a song, maybe. That would be funny.
Someone said they hope he raps. Does he rap?
Yeah, a little bit as a Genie.
Okay. See, I've never seen it. It's not on Disney Plus yet.
But yeah, I heard that it was filmed and it could be on Disney Plus.
They should. I saw the other day. Oh, go ahead.
That's what I was just saying. This holiday season, it might be there.
Oh, cool. I saw the other day that Hamilton was the most watched program on streaming. Or no, that's not what it was. It beat out everything on Netflix in the month of July.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I would think, they've got Newsies, they've got Hamilton. Of course, there's High School Musicals and all those Disney Channel musicals as well. I would think those Broadway shows, though, if they could get those on the platform, would be big for them.
Yeah, there's a couple. I haven't seen 3 of them, right? So I've seen Mary Poppins. I've seen Little Mermaid. I've seen The Lion King a couple of times. Seen Beauty and the Beast. I have not seen Tarzan. I haven't seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I didn't have a chance to see Frozen. And all 3 of those, you can't see them right now unless there's some kind of local traveling show or something. So I would love to see those.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Love to see that happen on Disney Plus. So yeah, this episode obviously is going to include the return of Darkwing Duck. We believe Taurus Bulba will be in it as the main villain. We believe we've got his voice actor. We're also anticipating that this will be the episode where Gosselin will debut. She was on the poster for season 3, and I mean, there's no doubt in anyone's mind this is the episode she's going to be in. It's a 2-episode. It feels like a special. Everybody's talking about it like it's a special, but it feels like Darkly Dawns of the Duck. I mean, it's what it screams to me. It's going to be Frank's own version of the story. I'm sure he's writing this one, right?
Frank said to James Silvani, he says, "I can't wait there's one moment I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on from this episode." So I'm hoping it's some kind of tribute to the comic, or maybe even some of Silvani's art in the background.
Well, Bulba returned in that Duck Knight Returns story in the comic. So he ended up being the villain. Spoiler alert, if you've not read that series from years and years ago, he ended up being the villain behind everything. Or at least behind the current situation. It gets a little deeper than that, but it was a lot of fun, and it was good to see the character come back because he was in at least three episodes of the original Darkwing Duck series. He returned as like a Terminator type character, Steerminator.
Yeah.
So he returned in that series as well. Maybe a reoccurring villain on DuckTales, or a spinoff?
Yeah, let's go with that spinoff. That'd be great.
We will take the spinoff. All right, then on 10/26, we have... let me try that again. Escape from the Impossible. How many bins does Scrooge have? Or actually, you know what? Is this even Scrooge's bin? It might not be. This episode, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I've seen some discussion, and this may have actually came from you. I've seen some discussion online of it being possibly where we get the Wuzzles, or the not the Wuzzles.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like maybe they escape the Impossible.
Yeah, like those characters seem impossible.
Yeah, but I almost feel like because of how ferocious they look, I almost feel like they're going to be fouls. Which this could still be their episode, but maybe the Impossible is something the buzzards have? Instead of it being Scrooge's?
Possible.
Another foul, what's the word I'm looking for? Funzos in the lighthouse were evil layers. So who knows? That's probably the one that's got me the most stumped. I feel pretty good about all of these except for that one.
Yeah, we have no idea. I haven't even got any hints or clues of what that could be.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else we can say about that episode. I have no clue what might happen, what might come about. I think the not Wuzzles is a good guess. And I mean, just looking at it, I don't know. Could it have a lot to do with foul? Could we see Rocker Duck in that episode? We know he's coming. I don't know. There's a lot of things we could guess at, but I don't think any of them are substantiated by anything that we know. This is the episode that's got me the most perplexed on October the 26th. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll get some information as time moves on. We'll find out about a voice actor or something, somebody who's going to be in the episode, or a character or something. We'll get information. Just make sure you're following DuckTalks.com and having conversations with us over on Twitter. And we'll try to keep everybody up to speed. And we appreciate the community continuing to keep us up to speed on what's going on. A lot of times the information that we get comes from other fans. Okay, let's move from that over to Frankly Speaking, because even as we have been recording, Frank Angonez, the co-producer of DuckTales, one of these days we need to have Matt on. And I'll be honest, I'd love to talk with Matt. He's not as involved on social media, but my biggest fear of talking with Matt Youngberg is that I will want to talk about TF Animated the entire time.
Yeah, maybe it's not a good idea.
I love that show. I mean, it was just so out of the box for Transformers. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Transformers fan. It's one of the few comics I still pick up on the monthly, although I miss More Than Meets the Eye. That was my favorite. And Lost Light, which was a follow-up. Anyway, I digressed. Frankly Speaking, over on Tumblr, Frank has been answering questions like crazy. He's finally been let off his leash from Disney, and he's allowed to answer some things. And some of these new ones that have happened in the last few minutes are actually very telling. So he talks about some scenes that we didn't get, which was kind of cool. He was asked about anything that he could tell us about the Darkwing episode, and he gave the date of it airing. And then I've seen some discussion online about which is bigger, Duckburg or St. Canard. He was asked about skyscrapers. Who had more skyscrapers, St. Canard or Duckburg? And he said St. Canard. I think that checks out. Some of the more interesting ones, though, as I scroll and scroll and scroll through ads. What is up? There was a question asked if Dewey would be a big part of the Darkwing episode, and he said, yerp. There was an earlier question about whether or not all three triplets would be in the episode, and he said they would. So we will have Huey, Dewey, and Louie in the Darkwing episodes. Which checks out, because I believe he's also said Gosselin will interact with all of them. We found out that Glomgold cannot physically dab. I thought this was interesting. Are we going to be seeing Gandra soon? And he said not in the next chunk, so not in these 6, but Jamila will be playing someone else. And I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure who she will be playing. We'll see. All right, so this was one of the questions we've discussed off mic today. Any treats for us duck comic lovers coming up? And Frank says there's a very specific character from Disney Comics coming up whose presence explains the entire existence of our show. We'll talk more about that later. It's perplexing. I think we both initially went to the same character, but I don't know, because of the presence explains the entire existence of our show.
I mean, it seems like the Phantom Blot, just from the comics reference. I can't think of any other comics, except maybe Ruck or Duck, but...
Well, we've already had him.
Right.
And neither one of those really speak to the... explains why the show exists. But he does, I mean, in reading this, I feel like Frank's pretty intentional with these answers. The person who asked the question specifically said Duck Comics, but Frank answered from Disney Comics. And I feel like that's a breadcrumb. That's one of those little hints. And so that makes me think more along the lines of the Phantom Blot, which checks out. But we'll just have to see. I don't know what the Phantom Blot could have to do with the existence of DuckTales 2017.
Maybe he has some kind of fourth wall type power.
Oh, that could be fun. Someone asked him about the Waddle building being in the background, and he said it's of St. Canard, and he says it's a huge company. We also really wanted to add something to the iconic St. Canard skyline to make it clear that this was our version of the city. So I thought that was cool that he confirmed that's why it was there. He talks a lot about crying. Frank's doing a lot of crying nowadays. Talking about these episodes specifically. He does say we'll meet someone new in the Four Everglades episode. I feel like we're going to meet somebody new in all of these episodes. He does say...
we were talking about guest stars, and there's a lot of guest stars that were originally announced that we have not heard from yet. And I know we still got a lot of season 3 left to go, but let's figure out how some of these guest stars are. I don't know if that makes sense at all. You can cut that.
No, that made total sense. So we talked about the next Darkwing episode and Gosling being it, but we didn't make any like predictions or guesses. But I kind of feel like the fandom has settled in on it being Stephanie Beatriz. She's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm not that familiar with her work, but when the voice actors and actresses was first published at the beginning of season 3, she was on that list, and I went through trying to see if anybody could be Gosling, and she was the first one that stood out to me as playing Gosling. So I think everybody's kind of settled in on her being the new Goss, but it's not been officially announced. Frank was asked if we're going to see Rocker Duck soon, and he said yerp, which I'm guessing that means the next 6. Let us know which episode you think he'll be in. I'm going with that last one. I think it has to be.
Very possible.
He was asked, will Magica appear in the Lena episode? And she almost always does, was his answer. So that gives us a little more confirmation that we're going to have Lena and Magica in the next episode. I feel a little more. I believe Beagle Lover 62 is somebody we've quoted before. This is the person who asked this question. They do a really good job of getting us information with their questions for sure. They asked, is there anything that you're particularly excited about with the next episode? And Frank said, oh gosh, yes, I love Lena episodes. So confirmed, we're getting Lena in the next episode.
And Lena has a lot of diehard fans, so that'd be great for them to finally get a more like the Lena-centric episode right at the bat.
Yep. Yeah, it's past time. We've not seen the character much in a long time.
Yeah, she was in the first episode of the season, just as like a side role. But yeah, we definitely need more info on her because she's a powerful character that has a lot of fans out there.
And I think that's going to be it for Frankly Speaking in this episode. I'm trying to look. I felt like there was one more because I came across that one late, but I'm not seeing it in the notes. Oh, here it is. There was one more. I thought you would particularly enjoy this one. Someone says, I was watching Rumble for Ragnarok, or I was rewatching, and I noticed at the beginning that Launchpad actually landed the plane. And Frank says, he's been taking lessons from the best. Confirmation that Launchpad is growing as a character. Because I think that was one of the things we said early on. This Launchpad has a lot of growth coming up.
Yeah, I saw somebody said, who's the best? Is it Della or is it Baloo?
Ooh.
It's Della, but it's still fun to talk about, even Tailspin, Baloo. And we know that the first 6 episodes doesn't seem like that that Tailspin episode is in there. So that must be coming later on, maybe in November or December.
Well, we've still got a lot of episodes to go. We've only had 7, and this is 6 more. So, I mean, that's going to put us a little past the halfway mark. And who knows, who knows if we get these 6 in another break. I don't even want to start talking about that yet. We'll wait until October. But, man, a lot to be excited about. It's been a busy day. It's been a big day. And Duck Twitter and Tumblr and Discord is all in an uproar, just talking it out, hashing it out. There's a lot of fun conversations to be had over the next little bit. We got some reviews of the Fantagraphics, including the Phantom Blot, I can't talk, coming up, so be on the lookout for that. There's not a lot of merchandise out there, so we're not reviewing a lot of stuff. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. I've got the Funko game, Something Wild, coming in. It's got some duck-related content. We'll be talking about that. Really hoping we get a Donald Pop based on those cards, the design on those cards for Donald Duck and Goofy. So there's a few things we'll be talking about throughout the end of August, going into the beginning of September, and then we'll, as information comes out about new episodes, characters, and all that, we'll be talking about it too. So if you'd like to get in on those conversations, in the episode description of this podcast, you can find a link to our Discord. You can join our Discord and just look for DuckTalks in the many Discord channels over at Res TV. And look for DuckTalks, join in. We're happy to have new people. The conversation's been non-stop lately. I found myself in there a lot over the last few days, talking about those first 2 episode titles and what might be coming. And then now we've got 6, we got 4 more to talk about, including one that's twice as long. So a lot of great things coming up. So check us out there. Our blog is ducktalks.com. We are also on Twitter at DuckTalks. You can find us on Instagram. Haven't really found how we would like to use Instagram just yet, so I'm still working on that. And you can find us individually over on Twitter. I am at Infinirama616.
And I'm at The Pirate Steven.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can send that to ducktalkspod@gmail.com. And be sure to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. And, and again, we'd love to have a review or a rating from you if you enjoyed the show. Thanks, everyone. Until next time.
Stay Glom Golden.
Are you doing Josh's part?
Josh is not here.
You all know it. DuckTalks is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds or audio clips played on this podcast are the property of their copyright holders.